Archon Type B. We're going to get into this, but before we do, let me go ahead and give a shout out to our channel sponsor, Tag Firearms. We can get some of the best firearms from manufacturers like Knights Armament, Noveski, B&T, and plenty more. Go ahead and check them out at their Instagram or give them a visit at tagfirearms.com. Before you finish your purchase, make sure you use discount code DEVINTHEDUDE to save yourself some money in the checkout aisle. Now let's get into this. All right, so the Archon Type B. It's a 29-ounce 15-round handgun. It uses the AF speed lock mechanism in there, and it is a 4.29-inch barreled gun. What do I think about it? It's not bad. It's a good gun to grab if you're not trying to get a Glock. You know, if you're trying to get something that's a little different than a Glock, but you're not really into some of the other offerings on the market, it is definitely worth taking a look at. There's pros and cons to the system though. I hear a lot of people say, wow, it's such a smooth shooting gun. I wouldn't say it's that smooth. In fact, I would say that if you shot it next to a Glock 17, a 17 feels smoother than the Archon does. What the Archon is though, is a very flat shooting gun. Now, it feels very reminiscent to a Glock 19. Just how fast the slide reciprocates and everything else, it feels very similar to a Glock 19, but it shoots a lot flatter. And that has a lot to do with the AF speed lock mechanism that they use in the gun. Because of that and the fact that it doesn't have a Browning tilting barrel action, it definitely gives you a lot of room to bring the bore axis a lot lower and bring your hand way higher up in the gun. So that is really why you get a lot of that flat shooting characteristics out of the Archon Type B. I like the fact that it's a dense gun as well. Being 29 ounces, it feels very similar to, let's say, a Zev OZ9. Now, you start creeping past 29 ounces, 30 ounces, and guns start to feel a little bit, I don't know, too heavy to concealed carry, but they're great range guns. This really hits a sweet spot by being that gun that kind of fits in between being just heavy enough, but not too heavy to where it's uncomfortable to carry. Another thing I like a lot about it is the fact that it's a 15-round gun. I'm kind of a fan of 15-round guns. I feel like they are the best of both worlds. It's enough to fight with. It's the most purchased handgun in the world, and it's a 15-round gun. And that's what makes it so concealable to me. There are some guys out there that can conceal Glock 45s and Glock 17s perfectly. I'm not one of those guys, and I feel like I have a pretty ideal body type for that, and I still can't do it. So, you know, the fact that it's a 15-round gun makes it a very concealable option. Here's some cons to this gun though. Finding holsters for it is going to be tough. There's not a lot of companies that make holsters for it. I believe Standard Co. was one that was making holsters for it for a while. They still do. LAS Concealment, I believe, makes some now, which is great because I like LAS Concealment. Finding a Safariland holster is going to be extremely difficult, but I do believe Ghostman Designs can modify holsters, but you'd have to go ahead and hit him up on Instagram to find that out for sure. There's not a lot of aftermarket for it, and finding mags is going to be a little bit difficult. The mags, last I checked, were like $45 if you find them, but it does come with 4 of them in the box, so that is very nice. There are some aftermarket options as far as sights because it uses Glock sights, so you've got a plethora of those to choose from. And DPM Systems does make a spring kit for it, so there is that. Another con to this is you're kind of stuck between 2 optic cuts for it, either an Armor or an Acro, which does cover a lot of the market anyways, so you're kind of good there. But just know that going into this, that currently the only ones offered from the factory are Acro or Armor. And if you're asking me which one I'd go with, I'd probably go with the Acro because I like that optic a lot. But to each their own on that. So to give you guys a good visual comparison, so we decided to take 3 guns out one day and shoot them all back to back on camera so you guys can see kind of a recoil comparison between, you know, the Archon, a Glock 45 with a compensator, and a Glock 19 without a compensator. And here is the footage of that. As you can see here, if you have a compensator on a Glock 45, it's probably going to outshoot the Archon. But if you're shooting a 19 versus an Archon factory to factory, the Archon's going to beat it. I mean, It's a lot flatter shooting gun, and the sights settle very quick. But smooth and fast, like I said, are two different things, at least in my opinion. And smooth, I'd say it goes to the 19 or, 17. But as far as it being fast and being able to get it back on target really quick, it's going to go down to the Archon. Also, the fact that the trigger is really nice on the Archon. I mean, the flat face on the trigger feels great on my pad of my finger, and I feel like it definitely lends itself great to giving follow-up shots. Archon does offer a trigger package for this, so you can send this back to Archon. They can give you a better trigger package than comes on it. I have not gotten a chance to play with that upgraded trigger, but I'm sure it's pretty nice. So what do I think about the Archon as a concealed carry option? So if it was one of your only guns, I'm kind of torn. I mean, I don't know what's to come of the company Archon. Before they were Archon, they were Strike and Arsenal. I don't know what's to become of them. But what I can say is there's plenty of reliability tests that have been done, and it shows itself to be a very reliable operating system. And I mean, the torture tests that I have seen have done pretty well. Also, like I said, it does come with 4 magazines. So, I mean, at least you have enough mags to do what you need to do when you first get it. As always, I'd say go ahead and take out your guns and shoot them to make sure that they run the defense loads that you want to run. But I haven't found any issues with any of the ones I've had, and I've had about 4 of these at this point. So, I could definitely say that it has my blessings there. It's a 15-round gun. It conceals well. It's a perfect weight. So I would say if you're looking for something to add to your collection as a carry option, or you're just looking for your only one, it's definitely worth a look. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend it for your only gun just because, like I don't know what could possibly happen with Archon as a company, but you shouldn't be too disappointed if you do happen to grab one because it fits pretty well in a lot of roles. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for today. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, hit like, engage a little bit in the comment section, and I will see you guys next time on QRC.